What tourist destination should be avoided at all costs? I have a couple that will be unpopular. Neuschwanstein Castle, yes. You'll get a great picture. The same picture that the other 500 people on the bridge are currently taking, and the same one that 1 million people have seen over the years. There are a lot better castles in Germany to visit. Venice didn't do anything for me. If you want to see canals, go to somewhere like Bruges. Belgium instead. Better food, better beer, smaller crowds, etc. I've loved every other place I've visited in Italy, just not Venice. Pisa. It was a stop on our bus trip. Of all the places I've been in the world that have been little more than a picture and a postcard, this one is the absolute worst. It's not even that it's particularly bad. It's just, that's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Well, okay then. What are we going to do to kill the next 3 hours waiting to board the bus? Eat a crappy meal and swim through hordes of other bored tourists. I've been told that Niagara Falls is ... disappointing, a lot of hype. But it's just a big waterfall with a tourist center and souvenir shops. Others have said that the Mona Lisa in the Louvre was disappointing. The painting isn't very big, and there's usually a huge crowd of people wanting to see it. I've seen copies in other places, including the Da Vinci Museum in Rome. I don't need to travel to Paris for that. Lake Louise is gorgeous and unforgettable, but if you go during the summer it will be you and thousands of other people trying to get the same photo. As well, there is limited parking, so you need to walk in or take a shuttle. So, maybe I'm not saying avoid at all costs, but exercise extreme caution during the busy season. There's dozens of other places nearby to get breathtaking photos without the crowds. Let me turn this question on its head and say that you absolutely should go to Yellowstone, the Grand Canyon and Niagara Falls, particularly if you live in the US. Absolutely majestic. Great restaurants around Niagara too. I'd avoid DC personally. I've been several times and I always leave a bit disappointed. The National Air and Space Museum is cool though. Santa Fe, New Mexico. It is only for old white people. There is no young white culture, not Hispanic culture, and the native culture is a gimmick. The whole city is a gimmick. We mock the old people in turquoise. The art is all the same. No music culture or nightlife. Mia Wolf being the only decent thing. Santa Fe was remade in the 1920s as a tourist trap. Capri. During tourist season, it's pretty much an open-air luxury brands mall which is totally blocked by people queuing to enter them. There is one really nice view, but I wouldn't say it justified the trip. I was super angry I went there instead of Ischia or Procida on the only day without storm warnings in hindsight. It looked much more attractive. If you're planning to see the Eiffel Tower, bring an extra 100. They charge you to even look at it now. And if you're already paying to pass the gate, may as well pay to climb the damn thing. And if you're already paying to climb it, may as well pay a little more to take the elevator. I remember when you could walk right under it for free. Castle Neuschwanstein in Germany. Yes, it looks good. But it's neither historical nor is it anywhere convenient. There are literally thousands and thousands of castles in Europe that actually are historical. So from the early Middle Ages and such, visit those. Neuschwanstein was literally built in 1869, so nothing all that special. Really surprised it hasn't been said, but Hollywood, California. As someone who lives down the road and works in the area frequently, it is a shithole, dirty and crime-ridden. A few cool things locals can do frequently on weeknights. But trust me when I say everything you see on TV really is smoke and mirrors. Bondi Beach. Honestly, one of the crappier beaches in Sydney. It is so chock full of tourists that you're swimming relaxing with 8 million other people. If you can, go down the coast further. Wollongong, Kiama and Gerringong have beautiful beaches with much less traffic and friendlier people. Tourist destinations that exploit or mistreat animals, promote unethical practices, or have a negative impact on local communities and environments should be avoided. It's important to research and consider the ethical implications of tourism activities before visiting any destination. UK Land's End and John O'Groats are neither the northernmost nor southernmost points of the country. Have become tourist attractions because people believe them to be. Both are utter crap holes that exist only to relieve tourists of money for crap souvenirs and overpriced drinks. Vietnam nowadays, due to pollution, and to many cruise boats, to many tourists just finishing 3 weeks over here and didn't get there. Had to toss up between Ninh Binh and HLB, so chose the former. Let's hope it improves. Times Square, shops, buskers, and those overly aggressive Muppet characters all trying to separate you from your cash. It's just a few billboards and a place to buy cheaper Broadway tickets. Venice, super crowded, smelled like raw sewage everywhere, super expensive. It's a well-oiled tourist trap, and it was all so meh. My least favorite destination I've been to, Leaning Tower of Pisa. Most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. Most major American cities have a more impressive monument than this nothing burger every 4 blocks or so. I'd say Paris Disneyland, if you want to spend the day in lines surrounded by crying children and angry parents pushing you. That's the place for you. Niagara Falls could have been so much more. Could you imagine walking up to that like the edge of the Grand Canyon or a natural cliff? I didn't like Spain as much as everyone was raves about. On my Euro cruises I thought Portugal, London, France, Italy, Greece were all cooler. Personally, London it's okay, but it's not a representation of the UK. Liverpool obsessed with the Beatles, Cardiff lost its charm. These can include natural disasters, political instability, changes in travel regulations, or competition from other destinations. Any of the ones where tourists are despoiling nature and hurting the ecosystem. I feel like this includes much of Hawaii. All of them, vacations planet's ability to sustain life. Individual wanting to see the world, all life existing. Avoid Paris at all cost. Tourist trap. Totally overrated. The French are insufferable. Food is meh. Just don't. Navy Pier in Chicago. Decent views but not much to do. Super expensive and darn near Gotham City level of crime. All of them. I know an American asked this question. Stop ruining places with your American trash and obesity. The London Eye. What a crock of ... They have the nerve to call a ride on a Ferris wheel a flight. Israel, the whole country. Horrible experience because of a lot of horrible people and treatment. So apparently India, especially if you're a female. Seen too many posts about it. I'm curious about why a few comments say Dubai. Can anyone give a reason? Hawaii. It was stolen land. Leave those indigenous people's land alone. Maldives. The Liberty Bell is a bell. Don't know what else I was expecting. Central Germany unless you're going for a specific event. Stonehenge was dinky compared to what I was expecting. The supermarket near my house. Please don't come here. Basically all of them. Especially during high season. Almost every tourist destination I avoid at all costs. Salem, Mass. Biggest tourist trap I've ever been to.